Heyo, heyo, heyo!
Hey, everybody, guys and girls. Welcome back to another episode of Soaps and Sass. Glad to have you with us. I'm your host, or one of your hosts, Mama Sass.
And I am the ever so weird baby Sass.
So before we get started on a recap of General Hospital, I wanted to talk a little bit about something I came across, which are the ratings, the Nielsen ratings for soap operas. There are only 4 in daytime television: Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, General Hospital, and Beyond the Gates. And I found it very interesting that while Beyond the Gates is last in overall total viewers or millions of viewers, when you break it down by demographic, they're actually ahead of General Hospital in some key demographics. Now, in 18 to 49, they're only ahead by 0.1 over General Hospital. But when you break it down to 25 to 54-year-old women, they are well ahead of General Hospital. So, and I say well ahead, it's 0.05, but that's quite significant in the ratings world. So, good on you. Good on you, Beyond the Gates, for a new soap to be pulling ahead of such a tenured, long-lasting soap. I think that's very, very good. I am a little disappointed in General Hospital because I saw them pull out something this week that I've been seeing on Beyond the Gates that I did not like with the telephone, cell phone calls.
I was thinking just that, but at least they did it in a more...
General Hospital did it better.
Yeah.
Yes.
It wasn't as jarring as when Beyond the Gates did it.
Agreed. But
we'll get into that when we get into the talking and... Talking?
Woo!
We'll get into that
Woo!
when we get into the recaps and the actual discussion.
All right, so let me jump right into the recap for General Hospital. This is the week of April 21st to 25th. I'm going to start with the stories I don't care about.
Sorry, no, I can't math. I can't. The days have thrown me off. Proceed.
Okay. So, stories I don't care about. There's a few, so I don't have a lot to say on them. We saw a little bit of Jocelyn this week. She kind of connects with Emma as Emma's doing community service at the hospital. Sorry. Emma ended up with gum in her hair from some child she was doing artwork with, and then ended up falling into a dumpster. Whoop-de-doo. But they bonded, connected a little bit. That's going to explode, we know, because of the rivalry to become Dylan, Professor Dylan?
Dalton.
Dalton?
Dalton.
Oh, okay, Professor Dalton's assistant, but whatever. We'll see that in the coming weeks, I'm sure. Kai's surgery, story number 2, I don't care about at the moment. Kai has decided he wanted to proceed. We're all shocked. Portia confronts Drew. At Drew's home, Curtis shows up and finds her. And they're basically like, Drew, you're just wrong on so many levels. We can't even with you. Story number 3, I don't care about. Tracy meets with the politician, Boyle.
Yeah.
Councilman Boyle.
Yep.
Because she agrees with his stance on getting Sonny out. She, I don't know, I guess it's a donation. She pays him, I don't know, but she gives him money. She gives him money to make that happen. Now, what she did have the courtesy of doing, and I appreciate that, is she did meet with Laura to let Laura know exactly where she stands. It's not that she and Laura aren't friends. It's not like she doesn't appreciate everything Laura is doing. But she does tell Laura that she thinks that Laura should reverse her position or figure out a way to distance herself from Sonny, notwithstanding the familial ties that they have. And Laura's like, okay, thank you. And, I appreciate you letting me know. I understand it. I'm not going to do anything different, but, at least I'm very clear on where you stand, and I appreciate your honesty. Sidwell meets with Drew and Jordan this week. More talk on getting Sonny out. Whoop-de-doo. All right, now let's talk a little bit about some of the interesting things that happened this week, in my opinion. We did have more on the storyline of deception with Sidwell. Maxie and Brooklyn called Anna because they're beside themselves now knowing that Natalia is his ex-wife. They're not sure how to proceed. They were already sketched out with all the stories that Lulu and Sasha had told them before, so they wanted to know how to proceed. Can you arrest him for something? And Anna was like, no, stay the course. You don't want to upset this man. Just be careful in how you proceed. Lucy comes flinging in to tell them that Natalia is Sidwell's ex-wife, but she already knew, or they already knew rather, because they heard from Jason. They're brainstorming, and they ultimately decide to fire Natalia. They brought Sunny in for the firing. Natalia is obviously upset. She questions Sunny's loyalty, and this is right after she told Sidwell everything about Sunny's health. So, loyalty? I don't know. Natalia then leaves, upset, runs to Marco, and complains that Sunny fired her. Sunny is not the one who fired her. Sunny was just in the room when it happened.
And he agreed, but...
He agreed.
Also, what's your son finna do?
Right? He don't like you. But speaking of Marco, there was quite some movement with respect to Marco's job this week. Jens calls Alexis at one point to give her all kind of what for. She's like, man, leave me alone, and puts down the phone. Next thing you know, Sidwell shows up in her office. The best way I can put this is that he encourages her to give Marco the job. First of all, it's not her firm. I don't know why he's not talking to Diane.
It is.
Which she's a partner, but she came into Diane's firm.
Yes, but
she did not start it. Yes, they're partners.
Right.
But really and truly, it's Diane he should be talking to.
Right.
Like, I mean...
But he has more of a... I was going to say connection, but he has more...
Of a relationship. I understand.
Right.
And the fact of the matter is Diane's recurring character where Alexis is...
Exactly.
Right? So, I get that. It's just backwards.
But also, I think, aside from
behavior.
being partners, I think Diane probably also is like, okay, since we're going to do this, you're my best friend, yada, yada, yada. They've signed whatever papers to make her a proper owner of the firm.
Sure.
But
whatever. But that's what I say. That's how I feel. He should have been talking to Diane. So he encourages her to give Marco the job, and that's the best way I can think to put it at the moment, because it's not like he blackmailed her. It's not like he strong-armed her. He was just like, listen, my son is really good at what he does. You would be a fool to let him go.
And I don't include him in any criminal activity.
Right. I can only assume that Diane and Alexis spoke, because ultimately they meet with Marco again and have more conversation. Marco assures them that, if there's a conflict of interest between his business with Sidwell and the business with Sunny, he will recuse himself. He's hired. There's a shocker. We couldn't see that coming. Diane then hands him a stack of files to work on that are in the preliminary stage. He opens the first folder and finds the committal papers that she hid from Alexis. And he's like, I'm not sure that this is for me. And she was like, no. And keep your peace. Hold your tongue. He's like, yeah, no problem. Cool. Keep a pin in that. We're going to come back to that. Jason and Sasha. Oh, this should have been in my stories I didn't care about as well this week. Jason met with Sasha to try to understand why she took money from Sidwell. And she explains the story. And he's like, I don't like it, but okay. And that was pretty much the extent of that.
Yep.
Sunny surgery. So, Sunny tells Carly about the surgery. She comes up with the perfect cover to go with Sunny. She says, we're going to LA to look for doctors to follow up with Michael when he comes back to the States. Sunny finally agrees to have her accompany him to LA. Carly and Jason have a conversation about Jason not telling her that Sunny was unwell. And Jason basically explains that he didn't want to pull her back into Sunny's world now that she's out and she's dating Jack. It's like she's free, she has her life, she's doing well. So be it. Also, Sunny didn't want her to know. Sunny goes off to LA for the surgery. Carly is there, Brick is there, it's all good. Sunny comes through just fine. And as Carly is sharing the news with Jason, some sketchy lady enters Sunny's room and injects something into his IV line.
She didn't get that far.
Starts to inject something into his IV line.
She still didn't get that far. She pulled out the needle. She pulled out the needle.
Man, she
was in the process of going.
That's what I said. She starts to. Okay, she didn't push the plunger that we saw, but like the needle is like right by the injection site of the IV line. If you want to be that nitpicky. Sunny wakes up. Okay, that's where that ended. Custody battle. Just all kind of shenanigans going on this week. Holy moly. Willow goes to see Jason because you will recall last week she and Carly had words. Carly went to
I was about to say, don't you finish that with don't, because that's not what that means.
Anyways, Carly went to pop her in the mouth. Okay, can we go with that? And Jason came in and dragged Carly out practically by her hair. Anywho, so Willow goes to see Jason this week to find out how, can he help her by getting Carly under control. And Jason's like, no. The only person who can fix the situation is you, and you need to go talk to Michael. Just forget all the noise, forget everybody else. This is between you and Michael. You go talk to him. Okay. So that's what she decides to do. She tells Drew that's what she's going to do. Drew is like, great, I'll go with you, blah, blah, blah. Willow's like, no, stay here behind home. Well, we're all like, Drew ain't finna take that. Drew ain't finna take that at all.
No.
Okay, cool. She lets Nina know she's going and so on. Nina, in the meantime, goes to see Carly. Nina is upset at Carly's behavior, and she's like, listen, you gotta cool it. We were trying to break them up, but if you start talking about Nell, like, I can't back you on that. I can't support you in that madness. And, this is a partnership we have here. Carly's like, okay, fine, I'll back up. Nina also lets Carly know that she got a tip that Drew is looking for a home in D.C., so they really need to step up their game quick, fast, and in a hurry. And so they're trying to figure out a plan for that. No sooner than Nina leaves, Carly calls Diane and tells her to set a date for the custody hearing because she don't care what Nina have to say. She don't care what Willow and Drew are doing. She's gonna blindside them, and they're gonna be caught on the back foot. When Jason shows up, this is also while they were talking about Sunny and the surgery and everything, but Carly fills Jason in on her plan to blindside them, and Jason's like, you need to back up because we don't have any idea what Michael wants. And by the way, I told Willow to go see Michael. Carly is not at all happy about this. But anyway, so that's what's happening there. And when Willow gets back home, like I said, she gets home and she tells Drew that she's going off to Baden-Baden. But just before she tells him, Drew is really excited to let her know that he will get custody of Willow's kids if anything happens to her and Michael. And she's just like,
And for me, it's just like, Michael didn't sign nothing.
I know.
I don't know how. I don't know.
We can come to that. But yeah, she totally tripped, and she was like, "No, you need to slow your roll, sir, because I have to go talk to Michael." Anyway, so Willow does end up going off to Baden-Baden.
You really like saying that?
I don't.
It's
I like saying it that way. I like saying it that way.
The way you say it proves otherwise.
I like saying it that way because now I know where they are. And when she gets there, she asks to see Michael. The receptionist goes off wherever she goes off, and then comes back and says he don't want to see you. And she was like, "What? But I traveled all this way from New York.
Like that's gonna
right?
You could have traveled all the way from Timbuk freaking too."
The nurse is like, or the receptionist is like, "I don't know what to tell you." He said no. He was very clear. And she said, "Well, could you tell me it's about the kids? Like for the kids, it'll make a difference."
I don't think it'll make a difference.
No, I don't think it's going to make a difference. And Willow gives up. Tucks tail, and leaves the place. And then we see our girl on the phone calling Drew, talking about Congressman. It's done.
We will have words. Words will be had.
Meanwhile, back in the States, Nina and Portia are plotting after Nina has left Carly's house. They're in the restaurant. They see Councilman Boyle with this woman that Nina is fully aware is an escort because she's seen her on the hotel security footage and has had her escorted out of the premises. They decide to hire her to, I guess, perform a sting or trap or set up, however you want to frame that.
Trap.
Set up Drew to make it look like he's having this extra curricular.
Right. I was like, because it's not extramarital.
No extracurricular relationship with this escort. So the girl's like, $6,000 it's gonna cost you, and Nina's like,
I don't
that's
think
too
so.
steep. And then the phone rings. It's Willow. Michael won't see me. Hang on, half a second, Willow. Okay, done deal. Okay, Willow, what were you saying? So, yeah. So we'll see what happens there. We also have what I'm calling Crazy Christina.
Crazy with a K.
Best believe. So, no shock to anybody, Alexis refused to have Christina committed. Diane, as we mentioned earlier, held on to the papers, stashed them, which Marco came across. And Alexis goes off to the hospital. She was trying to see if Rick remembered, because that was one of the things that Diane mentioned. She's like, you can proceed as you wish. Ava's very happy she's getting all the money, but the one wild card here is you don't know what Rick knows. Rick can remember, and he could decide to do something different. So when she goes to see Rick, she's talking to Rick and finds out that, yes, Rick knows everything. Everything, and he's getting paid out of the money that Ava's getting paid. Great, cool, fine, no problem. Christina, in the meantime, she was trying to soothe her conscience with Lucky, because she showed up at Elizabeth's house. I don't think she was expecting to find Lucky there. And Lucky's like, listen, little girl, you need to figure yourself out. You want to feel guilty? Feel guilty. Hold your tongue. Don't keep coming around here. People are going to figure it out. If you can't hold your tongue, then turn yourself in. But just stop the shenanigans. Stop playing this fast and loose. Christina decides, you know what? I'm gonna hold my tongue. So I guess a couple days later, whatever, Diane goes to see Rick at the hospital, and for whatever reason, she has the committal papers in her purse. So she goes to see Rick at the hospital on the pretense that she wants to file papers, or she wants to give him notice that Sonny is intending to take Avery on a vacation because it's custody 50-50 with Ava. I guess Ava has to sign off, so she gives Rick the papers. But in the course of all this, because Molly was there visiting with him, she accidentally knocks over Molly's purse.
Accidentally, air quotes.
And I'm not convinced. I'm of two minds of whether it was accidental or accidentally on purpose. But in any case, Molly ends up with the committal papers. And oh my goodness. Molly ends up with the committal papers. Diane leaves and goes on her way. Molly's leaving the hospital, and she runs into Cody, who's in the waiting room waiting for X-ray results from where he was kicked by the horse, aka Hades, the same Hades that Molly was having conniptions over last week. Molly decides, you know what, Cody, I'm going to keep you company. You shouldn't be here by yourself. He hadn't been. Brooklyn had been there, but she found out something I'll tell you about in a minute, and so she left. So Molly's doing some paperwork while keeping Cody company, and then she pulls out the envelope that has these committal papers that actually accidentally transferred from Diane's purse to hers. Molly is shocked. Why does my mother want to have Christina committed? Cody's like, what are we doing? Where are we going? What's next, right? He's ready to roll. Forget the X-ray results. So they're out. I was hoping
We all were.
She would go to Alexis, but no, she goes to Christina.
Which, in the end, I think it was still good just because of how it played out in their confront the mother together.
Right? So,
because like, how can you lie? How can you lie to what? Like,
let's see what happens. So she goes to Christina. She shows Christina the papers. Christina is outraged. She's like, what? She signed these papers the day we had the Davis Girl reunion. Mom was up in there laughing and skinning teeth with us and making jokes like she's so funny. I'm not standing for it. So Christina's going off to see her mother. Molly's like, nah, ride or die. I'm not going to make it look like we're ganging up on you. So off they go to Alexis's office to confront her. Tune in next week for more shenanigans and hilarity on that front. Brooklyn, coming back to her,
The reason she left Cody.
So we found out at the beginning of this week that Brooklyn and Chase have decided to adopt a child. They want to use the same agency that Lois did back in the day when she gave up Geo. There obviously was no agency. Lois had a little momentary panic, called her mother, comes back and says, oh, right, we went to the nuns at St. Ignatius, but they closed like 15 years ago. Okay. So, Brooklyn was at the hospital. She ran into Lucas. Lucas had been with Lulu. Lulu has gotten a job at the Banner, the Landview Banner, as a reporter or journalist, and her first story is on adoption. So Lucas runs into, or Brooklyn and Lucas run into each other at the hospital. He was supposed to have seen Cody, but he took an hour off for an interview, which piqued Brooklyn's interest. And then that's how she found out Lulu was doing this interview on adoption. Of course, we knew, when we all expected, Brooklyn's hair caught on fire. Okay, so Brooklyn tears over to Lulu's house. By the way, this past week, Lulu moved out. She's got her own place now.
With her money in the bank for 4 years.
Hey. But apparently the address was well publicized, or Dante mentioned it because Dante helped her move in. However it happened, somehow Brooklyn knew exactly where Lulu lived. So off she goes.
At least she didn't say that she got it from Dante.
So we see, as Brooklyn arrives at the house, we see Lulu has a whole Word document trying to piece together the parts on the adoption, and we can only assume she's going to be looking for the child based on what she has on the screen. The two women quarrel. Brooklyn, in her fit of temper, reveals the name of the abbey. So we're quite certain, we didn't see this, but we're quite certain that Lulu will end up adding that to her document.
And do some digging.
Right. Dante arrives to find out what's going on. That's when Brooklyn reveals that her and Chase are planning to adopt, but she doesn't tell him the whole truth, even though she was telling Lulu, you know what? You so big fashion, just go and tell Dante if you can't keep it a secret. You think he needs to know, then tell him. Brooklyn ultimately doesn't tell him.
Well, here's the thing. Brooklyn said to Lulu, you tell him. Mm-hmm. It's obviously Brooklyn herself won't tell him.
Yeah.
So, and when he showed up, Lulu's the one's like, you want to tell him? It's like, I told you to tell him because you're the one who can't leave well enough alone. So.
Yeah.
It made sense that Brooklyn wasn't going to say anything.
Indeed.
But we thought for a minute. We
did.
thought for a minute based off her wording.
We did. So that is my recap for the week. Do you want to pick apart the storyline, or do you want to go by our categories and we'll pick about the storyline that way? I always ask you each week, how do you want to go?
Right, and I think just for continuity and consistency, it just makes sense to go by the categories because then we're jumping around once we get there anyway.
Okay, comedy moment of the week. And I know you had one.
Yeah, I was wondering if I had one earlier in the week, which I don't believe I did.
You should take better notes. Ha ha! J'accuse.
It's just funny because I stopped taking notes after whatever week it was. But anyway.
I know.
But for this one, it was Molly's reaction to Cody getting kicked by the horse and the fact that it was Hades who kicked him. Especially after Molly was like, he's got beady eyes. I don't trust this horse.
Eyes.
Yes, eyes.
Okay, it sounded like you say he had a beady something else.
I did not. It's like Molly was very skeptical and very, very cautious of that horse, and she's like, I had every right. I could see it in his face. He looked like a kicker.
Mm-hmm. My comedy moment is somewhat related. It's the same scene where Molly is sitting down to do the paperwork, and then she turns to Cody and says, "Do up your shirt," because Cody's holding an ice pack on his ribs, and he's like, "Oh, you don't want to see the thunder?" It's just like, Cody, stop. Oh, man. Oh, that made me laugh.
This also kind of ties into a comedy moment of the week, but it's not really... It does have to do with the show, but it was more something that happened between us because I wasn't in the room when this happened. I had stepped out and was grabbing my food, and my mom's like, "It's your boyfriend!" And I walk in, it's like, "Oh, it's Lucky!" And
oh, my gosh.
No!
Lucky.
She's like, "Back it up!" So I back it up. And Brick walks into the room because he's visiting Sunny in the hospital. I said, "Oh, it's Brick." And then we have a whole conversation. But it was just so funny that she says that. And my first thought is like, it was referring to Brick. And I'm like, Brick's not my boyfriend.
Sure. You have no taste. Brick is smooth, man.
I
Rick should top the list for no other reason than that he's smooth.
I don't dispute that he's smooth. I'm like...
Lucky ain't smooth? Lucky ain't smooth at all.
Maybe my type isn't that I want a smooth guy.
Maybe.
Maybe I want someone who's rough around the edges.
Oh my goodness. So rough. So very rough.
Hey.
And not even rough like a bad boy. He just rough. Okay.
Moving on. What had me hot was the next one.
Yes.
Okay. This. Oh gosh, I feel like I'm seeing things falling from the sky again. Okay, so the first part of this, and I'll have to look through the notes to see if there's another one, but at the top of my mind, it was Willow coming home, Drew being excited, being like, I'll have custody of your kids should something happen to you and Michael. And I'm just like, sir, Michael didn't sign anything.
Oh, boy.
Like, no. No. Don't even. So that had me hot. But what also had me hot in that moment was when Willow's like, I'm going to Baden-Baden. I'm going to go talk to Michael. And you could see on his face how he's like, okay, this is sudden. I didn't plan for this. How do I manipulate my way to get her to not go? And if she does end up deciding to go, that I go with her. And then Drew's all like, oh, that's perfect. It's like, I'm going to go with you. We're going to take the train. We're going to explore. Yada, yada, yada. And Will's like, oh, this is not a vacation. I'm going to go see my husband who's in a burn unit.
And kudos to Will for calling him her husband.
Right? It's like, don't forget, no divorce papers have been signed. The woman still wears the ring, which I still was like, woman, take it off at least. But yeah, it's like, slowly roll, sir. She's going to go talk to her husband about custody and figure out a plan on what's going on because there has been no communication since this incident happened, since he dropped the divorce papers.
Yep.
And you think it's a good idea for you, her lover, to go visit her or to go visit her husband while he's in the burn? I don't think so.
Nope.
So, yeah, that's one of the moments this week that had me hot, and I will see if there was any others.
Yep. What had me hot? No, I don't know. This is really what had me hot moment. So I'm gonna take a pass on that one.
All right.
And I'm gonna go to the. What'd you do that for? And that I have to look at Diane. I am not at all understanding. I recognize it's a plot point, but really and truly, like logically, I don't understand why Diane went to Rick's. I keep calling it a hotel room.
Hospital
it's not that
room.
posh. Hospital room to give him the papers for visitation for Avery to go on vacation with Sunny.
Okay.
This makes no sense to me. The man is in the hospital. He's recovering from a car accident. I understand that he's Ava's lawyer, but does he not have somebody covering for him at his practice? Okay, perhaps he doesn't. Is it so urgent that you have to give it to the man while he's convalescing? You can't just hold it until he's out of the hospital? File it and he figures it out? Like, why are you there? And like I said, I recognize it was a plot point to transfer the commitment papers from Diane to Molly, but
again,
I like my soap operas to make logical sense.
Right. And so to that point, as you said, I think just giving the papers about the trip to or visiting him for that reason, I'm like, I don't think, again, I think that was just a plain excuse. Obviously, she wants to talk to him without, being as unsubtle as she was about knowing about everything. I think, and then again, for me, it was the fact that she had the papers. I can't remember if I put this in. No, it was different. But, yeah, because it's like she put the papers in an envelope, wrote Davis on it, and then obviously went to the hospital. For me, I'm trying to figure out, had Molly not been there, what was the purpose of you carrying those papers? Because it's not like you knew, because it's not like you're going to be like, you had any knowledge that Molly was going to be there. Because as far as I'm aware and from what I can remember, Alexis never said, "Oh yeah, Molly's at the hospital with her dad." Because if she had said that, then I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
It's all contrived,
right? And maybe I should go back and look and see if that's actually what happened. But as far as I'm aware, Alexis didn't say anything. She just said, "I'm gonna go visit Christina."
Yeah.
So it was like, what were you gonna do with those papers? Like, because it's not like you wrote an address on them or anything to have them, like, you know, secretly mailed. Were you gonna drop them off at her office, which would make more sense? Like at the DA's office, and just by luck of the draw, she happened to be there. So, you know, you accidentally, again, air quotes, knocked over her purse and got the papers mixed up on purpose. Like, so it's just it's just like, what was your plan had Molly not actually been there?
Yeah.
That's what my thing is.
And you have your legal papers in a side pocket, unlike Molly, who had everything deep in her purse before everything spilled out. But as we're talking about these papers, I want to go in a little bit, and I had a thought on how interesting it was to see kind of the shoe on the other foot in this particular scenario. And what I mean by that is a year ago, I think it was just a year ago anyways, time flies so fast, we had Molly completely freaking out because she came across, by accident, the custody papers that Christina had drawn up to take custody away from TJ and Molly.
Right.
And, you know, Molly was like, why would Mom back you on this? How dare she? When what Alexis had actually done was taking the papers away from Christina, so Christina didn't do anything stupid, right?
Right.
And now here we are, this year. Now it's Christina who's the target of these papers. And again, we're jumping to conclusions once again.
Right.
But now this time it's the two of them together. But it was just, y'all like to jump to conclusions when you see things and you get all pumped up. You don't ask questions.
Right.
And to be fair, would I ask questions? I'm sure I jump to conclusions on certain things as well. So it's not like I'm better than anybody else. It's just as you watch this as a viewer, you get so like, what are you doing?
Right. Though I think, while I understand where you're coming from and like how the shoe's on the other foot, I think the difference in these two situations is that where in the case of Christina drawing up the papers, it was really like we had an agreement. It's like it's like, yes, TJ and I don't fight, but it's one fight. Every couple has a fight. It's like, so for you to assume that we're going to break up just because we had one fight is kind of, and drawing up these papers is like kind of out of proportion. Whereas the papers that have Christina committed, as Molly pointed out, it's like you've been kind of unsteady lately and we've been worried about you, and it's possible she had these drawn up after, you know, we lost the baby and you were going through postpartum depression until they found the date, of course. Yeah. But at the time, it's like, it's reasonable to assume it's like you have not been yourself. You've been topsy-turvy and losing Sam, the baby, all of this. Exactly. Is like, you've been spiraling. So
and having, you make a very good point. Having come to that logical conclusion, Miss Molly, right? You've had a tumultuous year, and then to see the date, it's like, well, did you think she had everything resolved? Then in the space of when you thought it might have been written up to today, those things still apply. And of course, as we all know, there's a key piece of information that Molly does not have.
Right.
Can't wait till next week.
Right, because in case you guys have not clued in, May sweeps. Granted, it's going to be really at the end of the week, so we might get that clincher, but really, it's going to start the week after.
Yeah, the week
after. But yeah, 5th. May sweeps starting, so get ready for drop bombshells like the nurse's ball, adoption secrets coming out, attempted murder secrets coming out.
Right. Okay.
Possible the return of Michael and every other Clash and Drew and situation coming out.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Nina's secret might also come out.
Listen, that secret needs to come out. All right, let's talk about Make It Make Sense.
All right, there was two. I know I had mine and I know you had yours.
All right, well, I've lost yours in the notes. I do apologize, so I hope you remember.
Yes, I think mine was tied in with the...
Oh, I think I see where it is.
Yes, because it was written in the what did you do that for? But it was like... I could have sworn I clicked in the Make It Make Sense section, but I guess I did not. Anyway, I can say what mine is.
Yes, go ahead, because I don't understand what I wrote.
Yes, so my make it make sense has to do when Willow went to Baden-Baden and the receptionist is like, he doesn't want to see you. There's nothing you can say or do. He does not want to see you. He made it quite clear. And then Willow leaves and the receptionist proceeds to call Drew. And I'm sitting here like, ma'am, you're in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's a congressman in the States. Like, okay, sure, you might need the money, but you're at a top, you're the receptionist at a top private burn facility. I would think you're getting paid quite well. But if not, I don't know. So my question to you is, why are you doing the dirty work of a congressman? Like, what reasons could he have given you, aside from money, like, for you to manipulate a woman who just wants to talk to her husband?
Agreed.
And as she said, it's about the kids. So clearly there's a very crucial reason for her to need to talk to her husband. Because for me, I'm like, I wouldn't, if someone said, came to me and I'm working at a hospital or whatever, and it's like, I need to talk to this person, it's about our kids, I'm like, I'm gonna be like, okay, give me 1 second, and head back. I don't care if I've been bribed to whatever. I'm like, if it involves someone's kids, it's probably for a good reason. I don't need to know the reason. That's your business. But I don't play when it comes to kids.
I'm with you, and I figured out what my problem was. I don't know how to spell, is what that was. So, but I had the same one. It's the exact same, make it make sense for the same reason. Like, what kind of pull do you have across the miles? It's like, you're a congressman and you have this impact in Germany?
Right?
It didn't... Again, I recognize this for the plot point, but it just just come on. Like, I can only suspend belief so far.
Right? It's not like it's Jack Brennan... And because I'm like, he's the WSB. It's not like he's got ties and whatnot.
Right.
And like how he pulled the strings to get Michael into to the facility. It's not that. It's like, it's some U.S. congressman that you don't know in another country. It's like some random guy in politics in another country who just got into this role. He has no power. He barely.
How do you know who he says he is?
Right. So how are you doing his dirty work?
Yeah, there's nothing about it that made sense.
It really didn't.
You don't know the guy. You don't know that he is who he says he is. How did he find you? How did he find that you were the person to bribe?
And not only you're the person to bribe, what did he like? How did he convince you?
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, confused. It didn't work for me.
It didn't either.
It's like, again,
because it's not like you planted somebody there, or you knew somebody who already worked there and owed you a favor.
This is it. It's like, again, recognize it was a plot point, but it was a stretch.
Really was. Which is going to drag me not drag me into, but it's because of this, I have a prediction, or at least a theory, or at least this is a plausible thing that could happen later down the line.
Okay, cool. Do you have a villain of the week?
This one... okay. Definitely Drew for the manipulation and the receptionist, because that was so wrong. Lulu, because it's like, you just can't leave well enough alone. I like, with the article, I totally get that it was the editor-in-chief who picked the article for you to write. But the thing is like, yes, you suggested 3 of them, but you knowingly suggested the adoption.
Yep.
Probably had a good idea that it would be a high shot of getting picked. And keeping in mind, it's like, had you not known about any of this going on with Brooklyn, you wouldn't have suggested it. You would not have recommended adoption whatsoever.
Right.
So you're doing this purely trying to reach the peoples and have people questioning, and sure, you might be doing it for one good reason, but your initial reasons for writing it are shady on a level.
Absolutely.
And also to have that document to solve all the pieces, and even just having a physical trace of it is just like, and like, anyone can stumble upon that. Like, for all you know, Charlotte could need to borrow your computer, you forget to close that off, or Rocco, like, nah.
Absolutely. Villain of the week? Oh, sorry. You just answered that.
Yes, I was wondering if I had another, but no. No.
I don't really think I have one. I sort of want to put Molly in there, but I'm hard pressed because I don't think that Molly should have gone to Christina with the document.
No, that's fair.
You know, she knew she saw it and she shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it makes me sad. Hero of the week.
I don't. Well, okay, I'll give it partially to Jason for talking to Danny.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that was a much needed conversation and just checking in on him because we haven't seen that much interaction with them.
Okay.
And making him feel better about, yeah, Rocco's not there, your sister's not there, and it's probably lonely and stuff like that. But, I do give Diane anti-hero of the week because, 1, for keeping the papers, 2, for being dirty in her slipping them to Molly. But again,
you still think she did it on purpose,
right? I believe she did it on purpose. But also I'm like, she told you, Diane told you, Alexis, is like, you need to do this. Molly and Christine are gonna find out some way, and
okay, but
it wasn't her place. But I'm like, I'm here for the chaos.
I'm here for the chaos too. But what do you think then? So once Molly finds out that Christina is the reason for the accident, do you think Molly is going to want to have her committed? Or she's going to want to have her arrested?
I think initially she's going to want to have her arrested.
Okay.
Because it's like, especially from the fact that you knew what you did, and then you acted like you didn't do anything wrong. You were and also Molly's gonna piece it together, especially with how
apology?
Yeah, it's like she's like, the day you were in the chapel and you were like begging God and apologizing and all this. It's like you weren't apologizing because you finally wanted your sister back or anything. You were apologizing because you knew what you did and you screwed up, and you knew if I found out, no. I think initially she's gonna want to have her arrested, and then Alexis is probably going to do the whole, but Molly, come on, and and try to convince her to get her committed. Because really, it's like, she's sick, she needs help. Like, everything's like, so Molly, I think, is going to try and fight it, be like, no, Mom, like, enough. It's like, Christina has really hit a low. So far so that she was willing to, I get it, we don't like Ava, and what Ava does is shady, but to try and kill her is taking it too far, and to end up having and oh my goodness, and screwing up for it to end up being my dad and Elizabeth. Yeah. No. I don't getting her committed. I totally understand. She needs help, but maybe the lesson she needs is in prison.
Okay, now
it's like she's just like her father.
Either way, because either way, I think Christina's going down.
Oh, for sure.
Right? I think we agree on that. Do you think Christina will take Lucky with her?
I hope not. She might say it. She might do it involuntarily. She might do it without even realizing it.
Okay.
Which will sadly affect his relationship with Elizabeth.
Everything she does is involuntary, right?
Yeah, she never means to do it.
Means to, exactly. All right.
So yeah, unfortunately, she better take Lucky down with her.
Okay.
But at least I know Lucky can survive prison.
Lucky ain't going to no prison.
I'm just saying, if it happens, Lucky can survive prison.
But he's going to lose Elizabeth.
I know, it's going to suck.
Anti-hero of the week, you said, is Diane.
Yeah.
I think if I were to give a hero of the week, I think I'd give it to Cody. I think I'd give it to Cody again, because it's like, you know what? I've had my treatment. I've got my pills. I'm good. What do you need? You need to go confront your sister?
Right, yes.
Okay, let's go.
Yes.
Right?
Fair enough.
He was right there. So I think I would give it to Cody.
I hear that.
All right. Make it sassy.
I have two for this one, actually. Okay. We have the one that's written, which is...
Don't take mine, take your own.
Fine. Okay, then I give it to Donna. I give it to Donna. Because when Molly and Cody showed up, and Molly's like, oh, yes, he was telling me all about how he's teaching James how to tie knots, and I figured, maybe Donna would be interested. And she's like, Donna, don't you think that'd be cool? She's like, no. That sounds boring. I give it to Donna.
Absolutely. You're so right. You're right. I forgot about that. I did forget about that. All right. So my Make It Sassy, same location, different timing, was when Alexis showed up to check on Christina a little bit earlier. And, Donna was like, oh, I'm so happy to be here with Christina. And Alexis is like, yeah, Christina's always so much fun. Like the sarcasm on that one.
The shade.
Oh, Alexis, my goodness. That's your daughter.
I will throw in another one.
Okay.
And this one goes to Christina when she shows up at her mom's office. She's like, you got something to tell us, mommy dearest? It wasn't sassy, but there was definitely two.
Well.
For good reason, of course, but.
Yes, indeed. Okay. So that about covers it. You have any predictions?
Right. So, okay. So because we now know that Drew has gotten Madame Receptionist in his pockets, which again, and Receptionist said to Willow, I asked him, he doesn't want to see you. He said he wanted nothing to do with you, and yada yada. I believe there's going to come a point where Michael comes back in town, and they're going to be fighting and whatever. And Will's going to say, I came to see you in Baden. Like, we could have solved this when I came to see you in Baden-Baden, but you turned me away. And he's going to be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I had no, what do you mean? I had no idea you came to see me. And she's like, don't lie to me. The receptionist is like, oh, of course you're going to say that. Like, the receptionist told me you did. It's like, the receptionist never came to see me. I have literally no clue what you're talking about. Like, it's like, I told her to tell you it was for the kids, but she said, I don't think that's going to change your mind. It's like, if she had actually come to see me and I said that, and it's like, okay. And if she actually came back to tell me that it was about the kids, I would have seen you. If anything, it would make sense you would come to see me about the kids. So, I think if that happens, like, if she doesn't leave Drew, if the plan that Portia and Nina have does not work out, which I believe partially will be the case, that will come out, and I think she will put two in, like, not immediately, but I think she might be questioning things and, be like, there were only two people I told that I was going to Baden-Baden, my mother and Drew. And if you're telling me, and Jason, of course, but if you're telling me that you had no clue, and you mean that, somebody, like, then that woman was lying, but why would she lie, and yada yada yada. And it's like, probably because your little boyfriend wants you and the kids, and wants you to have, like, but hopefully but that's basically what I'm thinking is going to happen.
Okay.
Confrontation, she's going to be like, Michael's, and she's gonna piece together that Drew is shady on the level, like people have been telling her.
Right. All right. So that is about it. I just want to recap some of the, and recap may not be the word, but just run through. Sorry,
I was gonna say very briefly. I know we keep saying Drew is just whispering in her ear and manipulating her, but it was very nice to actually see him do it for once, rather than just like kind of like inferring he's doing it and just like, and just being kind of like sweet talking with words, like just actually seeing him do it was just, I don't know, but it was nice. It was just
okay.
It made it feel like it really, like, because sometimes you might even be like, wait, is he really doing it? It's like, no, he's doing it.
Yeah, for sure. So I just wanted to remind our listeners of some of the things that we are tracking. So we're still tracking our drop storylines.
Yep.
Which at the moment, from what I remember when I was writing this up, where did Taggart go? Last we saw Taggart, he'd applied to be commissioner or detective, I can't remember what, but he had started drinking heavily and then he vanished.
He vanished into thin air.
No explanation or whatever, and suddenly Trina is calling Curtis dad.
And acting like they've been father and daughter all her life.
Not a mention of, oh, I spoke to dad, meaning Taggart, and he's up to whatever.
Right. Questionable.
So, do better.
Right.
The question we have been very clear that we were asking, where's Scotty?
Yep.
Last we saw Scotty, for those who don't perhaps remember, it was the hairpin spinning in the wind when he came back to rescue the pharmacist and saw Jason talking to him. This was after the pharmacist admitted to changing Sonny's drugs. Where's Obrecht?
I'm hoping she's at that burn unit clinic.
Me too. That's what I hope she's doing.
Because imagine she walked out and saw Willow. It's like, you come to see Michael? Yes, come.
Right?
That would have been nice.
Hey, maybe it's to catch her in the lobby before she goes back to Port Charles.
Oh.
But last we knew, if I remember correctly, she had gone to heal her heart after Britta's death and had come back briefly to save Willow, and then she went to mourn some more.
Yep.
Okay. And then the other thing I have is, who turned in the gun that Alexis dropped over the bridge?
Yep.
We don't know what happened with that.
Nope.
So that may still come back. Then the things that we're currently tracking that I don't believe are, well, maybe one is dropped. But the things that we're tracking that were mentioned, we have, what is Isaiah's family into?
Right.
Because Brick mentioned that the week of March 31st.
Yep.
We want to know what's happening with Martin. He's off in Cali on his alimony case. What's happening, Martin?
Yep.
Because while you're gone, who's representing Drew and doing all these legal shenanigans?
Because it ain't the Cornerman lawyers.
Right? And then the other thing that we're tracking is, what is Sidwell going to do with the knife that was used to kill Alexis's mother?
And we can't forget.
Embezzlement.
And we can't forget, where's TJ?
Right. Where is TJ?
I'm like, I don't particularly care because I was never really a fan of TJ.
Exactly.
But, you know, the man lost his woman, lost his baby.
Yeah.
And just up and disappeared.
Like, is he still crying in the apartment?
Like, where'd you go? Where'd you go, Cotton Eye Joe?
Oh my goodness. All right. There we go. So that is truly it for this week.
Mm-hmm.
If you have answers to any of those questions, throw them in the comments.
Right.
But in the meantime, we will sign off for now.
Yep.
And we'll be back with you next week for a little bit more soaps.
And a heck of a lot of sass with May Sweeps.
Oh gosh, she said that with Tood.
I say it with Tood because I've been waiting for this since February Sweeps.
Listen, you know what? As long as they're not dragging things out as long as they did with the Wiley paternity story, because that went on through how many sweeps?
I don't know. I honestly do not know.
Yeah, bring it to fruition, please.
Because there's so much that I want to happen this month. I'm like, I want Allison back. I want Secrets Revealed.
Oh boy, you're putting a lot of pressure on this May Sweeps. But all right.
It's also the month of the Nurses Ball. A lot of stuff, drama and reveals must happen.
Okay.
Which you can look forward to in the third week of May.
All right. Take care, y'all.
Also,
sorry. Boy, she's still talking.
Sorry. No, I'm also really excited because I want Gio to bust a freaking move.
Oh, yes. Listen, if y'all have not seen Gio and his contemporary violin, you gotta look for that on YouTube.
Yeah.
All right, so with that, really,
now we can sign off.
With a little bit more soap next week.
And a heck of a lot of sass.
Bye, y'all.